national politics has really gotten out of hand. And we've been in the news in Arizona because our senators in Arizona, as well as myself, have been calling for more civility in our dialogue, more civility in talking to each other in the marketplace. It's only by working together respectfully that we can have the conversations necessary to rise Arizonans and all Americans. This month, all those beautiful conversations that we've been having across the state about what really matters in Arizona have come pretty much to a standstill. They've been deliberately put on hold by people who want to divide Americans into us and them. Now, Arizonans are a brave bunch, but I don't blame you if you don't spend a lot of time in that unsafe place called the comment section. If you have been looking at my Facebook, especially the middle of this month, you will see the hateful comments that have become too commonplace in America. And of course, there's a theme to the hatred. While perhaps another female candidate would have to endure endless comments about her shrillness or unattractiveness, a Latino candidate might be grilled about his legal status, and a black candidate might be assailed with images of nooses. For me, it's always about my religion. I am a proud American Muslim woman. My religion is not something that I can hide, nor would I choose to. Much like Catholics wearing a crucifix, Jews donning a kippa, and Sikhs wearing a turban, I display my religion openly. My scarf does not define me, but it is part of my story. And that story is a complex one, especially in today's political climate. As a candidate for U.S. Senate, I vowed to have the tough conversations. I believe wholeheartedly that having those conversations is the only way we as a country can heal and move forward in progress. Today I want to talk to you about what I believe as an American who just happens to be Muslim. Sometimes we forget that many of our founding fathers, the very architects of this democracy, were the children and grandchildren of religious refugees. Their fathers and their grandfathers were religious minorities, oppressed and discriminated against by a tyrannical king who demanded blind allegiance to his church and monarchy. When these original patriots sketched out their vision for America, religious freedom was the very cornerstone of which they built this nation. In their America, religious minorities would never again have to live in fear or be second-class citizens. Because of this wisdom of the Founding Fathers, I, a religious minority, was free to be admitted to the State Bar of Arizona. In 2012, I took an oath at the federal courthouse in Arizona, an oath that said that I will uphold the U.S. Constitution, the Arizona Constitution, and the laws of this country. I took that oath freely. I took that oath with pride, and I still value that oath today, but I didn't need to take that oath to value that message. I grew up believing in that message. I grew up believing that the U.S. Constitution was something that could grow and be more inclusive as we as a country became more inclusive. My mother raised me to understand that we each have a responsibility and the privilege to do everything in our power to make our state and our country a better place. After our country was rocked to the core by the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, Arizona was further devastated when a local man decided to kill a fellow American. Right here in Mesa, Balbir Singh Sodhi, a Sikh American, went to work and didn't come home to his family because someone thought he was Muslim and should die for it. Reeling from the cowardly attacks on my nation by foreign extremists, shocked at the hatred and fear in my own backyard, and motivated by the wisdom of the founding fathers as well as my own mother, I realized now was the time for me to act. My journey as a public servant began. I spent the next 15 years in the trenches working with diverse Arizonans, individuals and groups, in the pursuit of social justice. Many of those injustices I didn't experience. They weren't related to me. But that's what being an American means to me. Standing up for others, standing up with others in their time of need, even when I'm not personally affected. Because what affects my neighbors affects me. I knew when I entered this race that I would be labeled as the Muslim candidate and nothing else. I am not the Muslim candidate. I am the American candidate. I am the Democratic candidate. I am the grassroots candidate. And yes, I do happen to be Muslim. I also happen to believe in the separation of religion and state, and that my religious beliefs must and shall remain entirely separate from any political office I am so lucky as to gain. Many politicians of many faiths would do well to remember this. Many politicians of many faiths would do well to remember this. As a candidate, I do not speak for any mosque, and no mosque speaks for me. Muslims span 7 continents. Muslims are nationals of almost every country in the world. Muslims come from various cultures, speak different languages, and have had vastly different experiences. In America, we understand that some of our neighbors are Christian conservatives. Some are liberal Christians. We know that Catholics in Rome and Catholics in Phoenix may not think the same. They may think very differently. And yet somehow, many would have us believe that 1.8 billion diverse Muslims share a brain, have no freedom of thought, and have no individual responsibility on how they interpret their relationship with God. That is hypocritical, it is wrong, and it's simply not true. And while the attacks on my faith are born out of a fresh round of Islamophobia, attacks on candidates' religion are nothing new. It may be almost impossible to believe now, but President John F. Kennedy was forced to address the same issues. While addressing the so-called religious issue, Kennedy said, "For while this year it may be a Catholic against whom the finger of suspicion is pointed, in other years it has been, and may someday be again, a Jew, a Quaker, a Unitarian, or a Baptist. Today I may be the victim, but tomorrow it may be you, until the whole fabric of our harmonious society is ripped at a time of great national peril." One of our greatest presidents was met with suspicion, and yet he persisted, and so do I persist. Out of fear for my safety, my husband once told me that it was okay with him if I removed my scarf. I told him I didn't put it on for him, so I didn't need his permission to take it off. Ultimately, this is what being Muslim in America is all about. Being Muslim is about the American story. Because being Muslim in America is about being free. Being Muslim in America means having the right to wear the scarf or not wear the scarf. It's about interpreting our relationship with God as individuals. Because here, no one can tell us how we must worship or how we must dress. Being Muslim in America means freedom to protest unjust travel bans, while being surrounded by Jews who protect us while we pause to pray. Because here we have a voice, and here we have allies. Being Muslim in America means the freedom to marry who we choose. To marry regardless of the person's race, religion, or gender. Because here, love means love. Yeah. Being Muslim in America means the freedom to join our military to defend our country. It means the freedom to fight ISIS, who are not Muslims, as well as others who commit terror in the name of Islam. Those who commit acts of terrorism lack any understanding of God. Messages of hate, intolerance, and oppression honor no faith at all. Being Muslim in America is about being free. And it is that freedom that America has guaranteed me that makes me want to give back to my country. To ensure that all Americans are treated with dignity and compassion. To fight for universal health care and to fight for universal health care and better education. For our environment and for social justice. Here, even as a religious minority, I have the freedom to lead. Now is not the time to sweep the difficulties we face in our community under the rug. Islamophobic hate crimes have risen 584% since 2014. The vitriol I have faced online is not confined to the comment section. People are being attacked on the street, in the grocery store, and most frightening of all, in our legislation. I understand the fear that many Muslims have in the current climate. We must remember, however, that while Muslims may be the flavor of the day, we're not the only flavor on the menu. Now is the time for intersectionality, to learn from each other, to lean on each other, to work with communities who have faced oppression longer than we have. Our friends who are African American, our family who are LGBTQ, and our neighbors who are immigrants are on this journey with us. So whatever our own battles, we must prop up every marginalized community and confront hate wherever we see it. We must fight hate with love. Hate is a fear turned outward, and fear is just an emotion born from lack of understanding. Yes, hate can be terrifying, and it can be infectious too. It's so easy to react with hate. But of course, that never solves anything and only widens the gulf between us. Dr. Martin Luther King said, "People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other." So now let's communicate. Let us open our homes and our hearts, even to those who may initially look at us with suspicion. Let's listen to their fears and dispel those fears by being friends, neighbors, and allies, as many of us already do every day. But let's widen our circles. Let's work together. Let's have we have major problems to solve. And we need leaders with character and strength to solve them. We need leaders who don't target. We need leaders who do not target or label groups for political gain, and who call out others in positions of power who do that. Now is the time to support those targeted communities, no matter who tries to label them. You'll notice that when they're handing out labels, they never say white American. They never say heterosexual American. They never say able-bodied American. Instead, they try to label people as other. But no matter what label they try to stick on them, to stick on you, or to stick on me, thanks to the wisdom of the founding fathers, we all wear the label American. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. You may have any questions.
Are you still being harassed?
It's still online. I will say that I'm very proud that I have never been harassed in Arizona since this campaign, other than the white supremacists who decided to target a business that had a meet and greet. But even that was outside and just loud and proud. But yes, online, it's still very continuous, and usually the same small group of people. That's something that we need to understand. People that have these hateful ideas are loud and proud, but they're a small number. We totally outnumber them. Anything else?
Mike has been one voice in the Senate recently that has tried to compromise on the health things. He's been calling for people to come together. What do you feel about that being that he's who you're running with?
What we need to do in the United States is start having political campaigns focused on what makes us the better candidate, instead of just trying to attack the character of other people. What Flake said, I think yesterday, in addition to other things, he said that Republicans who did not speak out against the administration when they do wrong are complacent. Arizonans want to see more of that. We want more than words. We want to see the action. We do want our elected leaders to speak out when, whether it's the administration or their colleagues, target our fellow Americans. If that's it, then I will thank you all for coming. It's warm in here. Thank you all for sticking it out, but at least we did it inside instead of outside. Thank you.